Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith, Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital
and Complete Care.
Thank you to Larson Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Pete's going to do a lot of talking this week because I'm a little husky.
A little husky.
I'm a little husky. That's when, if we had this all set up just right, a little husky would come up and go, boom, boom, and bark.
Is that how they bark?
So, forgive me for my voice this week. I yelled at Pete so much last week that I lost my voice.
Yeah, blame it on me. It's always me.
I'm actually not sick at all. I just had a lot of events last week. I'm very forward. I was actually on the microphone a lot last week. We had a lot of events, and I really lost my voice. So it's returned. I actually drank three eggs in the blender with honey this morning because the doctor from Reboot told me to do that, and that's the only reason I'm not whispering, which is brilliant. So, and we'll be mentioning Reboot later as a new partner with the show, and there's going to be a very exciting segment.
Oh, sorry. I've got the inner knowledge of what's going to be talked about, which is now out there, if you don't get my joke later.
Don't be so forward.
Okay. That's our word of the day.
Word of the day. Pete and I are going to be chatting a bit about horse parts. Dr. Cayot's going to be talking about vaccines. We are going to premiere Fabian Hronec's segment to reboot equestrians and get a reset there. And then in the last segment, I am going to share some details.
But
for now, we've got, in this first segment, we've got some mentions. So,
horse protection, turning tragedy into triumph, the Spirit Walk.
Second Saturday of the month from 11 to 2 p.m. Make sure you reserve a spot, and you can go and take one of the absolutely adorable little miniature horses for a walk, sit on a bench, enjoy some time with them, do some praying, thinking, whatever it is you like to do, meditating. And the name of these little minis is Faith,
Hope,
Love,
Courage.
Courage, yes. So, lovely opportunity to make a donation to the Horse Protection Association of Florida.
Make sure you RSVP so that they have a spot for you.
Yep, Christine at hpaf.org.
Woohoo! Ride, run, roll, relay.
Don't be a fool and miss this on April 1st.
Yeah, we might have a little fun joking around stuff going on.
Yes, that might be rather fun. Pete might even dance for us. I think he will. It's at the Florida Horse Park. You can create a team of 3, 1 runner, 1 equestrian, and 1 mountain biker. We will be there making a fool of ourselves, except Isaac.
Yeah,
Isaac won't make a fool of himself.
He'll be cool on the bike.
He'll win. He'll just win. So it's a 3-person team, $70 per racer. Special pricing for hero teams. That would be for first responders. You can be a solo team for $150 if you're brave enough to do all 3 legs of this and be the runner, the equestrian, and the mountain biker. The funds from this will go to the volunteer organization of the Cross Florida Greenway, who keep your greenway beautiful for you. There'll be raffles, food, and vendor booths.
Yay, come out and have some fun with us.
Yeah, and we're going to put a little basket together too for that. Very sadly, a couple of weeks ago, and as Pete mentioned, we are in February of 2023. So if you go back to listen to these shows later on the podcast, very sadly, Whiskey was stolen in Charlotte County, a very sweet horse, and they are looking for any kind of leads. And that would go to Detective Batson, who's headed up on this particular case. The phone number is 239-822-5366. If you have any information, that's 239-822-5366, and that is in Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda area off State Road 31. A really nice, stocky quarter horse, gelding, approximately 15 hands, age 20 plus, a real sweetie, and they would like to get Whiskey back. So if you can give us any information, that would be fantastic. We could hopefully get him back home.
This is the one that's hard to read.
Ah, you're so funny. This is the SRS. Are you trying to squint at that too?
Yeah.
Well,
Sorting.
There you go.
Moving cattle around
That's
with
fun
numbers
stuff.
on them.
Yes, and that is actually one of the sponsors is one of our partners, Larson Hay, and that's going to be a fantastic event. It's a weekend. It's a Saturday and Sunday. Gigi, do we have dates on that?
The next event is March 18th.
18th.
March 18th and 19th. Fantastic. So that would be a lot of fun. And I know if you're watching us, not listening, you can see this on the screen. But if not, you can go to Southern Ranch Supply, SRS, and you can get all the information on this sorting. Be a lot of fun to go and watch, even if you're not participating.
Yay. Woohoo.
Florida Horse Park. We are partners with the Florida Horse Park. We love them dearly. Reminds me I need to get a new banner made for there. The sun has faded it, but we love being partners with this incredible 500-acre facility. So beautiful, so set up for all horse sports. And at the Florida Horse Park, we're going to have the Spring Fling, combined driving.
Woohoo.
February 23rd to 26th. Even if you're not a competitor, it's incredible to go and watch. Very, very exciting. And you'll really enjoy yourself. So make sure you get out there to the Florida Horse Park. Oh, this is Magic from Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses. She is officially, as of a few months back, a very special OPD officer. And she is working with not just first responders, but schools as part of her hero horse life to bring joy and literacy, and also to make kids understand law enforcement better through a horse, and to see law enforcement in a different light. And how would you not with a miniature horse like Officer Magic? And Debbie Garcia from Gentle Carousel texted me to tell me about this going on last week, and she said, you know, it just wouldn't be going on without the connections they've made through the CEP. So I love the fact that...
and I always love George in the background. He's always smiling.
Isn't he great?
Oh, yeah.
He is. He's something else. They are wonderful. The work that they do visiting 25 to 50,000 sick and dying adults and children a year. Magic and their team of horses will be in and out of our school systems very soon, visiting elementary schools with the books that they have written and about their animals. And when I was a little kid, if I could have a book and see the character that was in the book
Show up at the classroom.
and it had 4 legs, I would have been sold.
I'd have been reading a lot earlier.
I'd have been reading very soon, yes. So we love all of this, and we love Gentle Carousel's participation in our community and all that they do for so many. So that's good stuff. So moving forward, that's our word of the day if we didn't mention. We'll be back with Dr. Adam Cayot in just a few minutes. We're going to be talking about the importance of getting your vaccines, and we are We're about to be in the spring, so let's do it. Stay with us.
This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system, powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
Experience the bluegrass. Step into the Elwood Hotel and Suites, situated in the heart of Lexington. Elwood is a unique yet familiar place, your home base, to explore, minutes from the University of Kentucky and the best distilleries on the Bourbon Trail. Only a short drive from horse country and from the iconic Keeneland racetrack. Full of warm, natural light, Elwood rooms are inviting, a space to retreat, rewind and relax, from spacious rooms to extended stay suites. Each room is unique, just like you. Don't miss a beat in your fitness routine either, and your furry friend is welcome too. Elwood has cozy beds, yummy treats, and snuggles too. Elwood is more than a landing place. It's a tribute to a contemporary southern lifestyle, a delicious place to refuel and to launch your Lexington adventure. Book your stay at theelwoodhotel.com and like them on Facebook now. Settle in at Elwood and begin generating memories in the heart of the bluegrass. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here at Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. I have Dr. Adam Cayot with me. And yes, we have jackets on because, yes, it is cooler in Florida sometimes. But the spring is coming. And with the spring comes mosquitoes. And with mosquitoes comes some not very nice things that Dr. Adam Cayot going to address for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, the mosquitoes, the bane of our existence, honestly. I don't even know anything they're good for. But anyway, so mosquitoes, they carry a host of viruses that horses can get. Most prominent are the encephalitides, so your encephalitis viruses that affect the brain, brainstem, spinal cord, and all those things. And those obviously don't treat your horse very well. So down here in Florida, we really don't lose mosquitoes. They get less during the winter, but there's still some out there. So we talk about spring vaccines, but really down here, they're just vaccines, and we kind of do the same thing twice a year down here. In climates up north where it gets 20 below and it's really cold, you can get away with doing that once a year, but down here we tend to vaccinate for these things twice a year. So just a nice spring and fall is kind of easy to remember, and that'll help you out in your planning. But you want to make sure that the horses are vaccinated if they're going to be exposed to mosquito at least once every 6 months. So we're talking Eastern encephalitis, Western encephalitis, West Nile. Tetanus is in with that as well. And then certainly the other common ones are flu, rhino. Obviously, if you're going to be competing your horse, be showing your horse, racing your horse, whatever you're doing with your horse, and it's around other horses, it's important to have that herpes virus and the flu virus vaccine on board, because we've heard of many cases of herpes outbreaks at showgrounds, at racetracks, at these concentrated facilities that can have devastating effects. So we want to make sure that we can do everything that we can to minimize those tragedies, and the easiest way to do that is to make sure that your horse is vaccinated and current on their vaccines. Keep good records, because it's very easy to forget. And if you aren't sure, veterinarian will have a record of that. Just call him or her up, and they'll be able to tell you, yeah, we vaccinated Blaze in January, or we vaccinated Blaze in October, or whatever it is. So don't be afraid to do that. We're happy to help you out in that regard. A lot of veterinary clinics send out reminders. This is the time for you to update your vaccines and that sort of thing. So that makes it nice as well. But you really need to stay on top of those things, because it's never a problem until it's a problem, right? So, oh, he's fine, he's never had a problem. Well, they never have a problem until it is a problem, until they have a problem. So, you are playing with fire. Some horses will go through their lives and will never have an issue and might not be vaccinated, and that's great. But, a lot of them don't. So you want to make sure you stay up to date on those. It just minimizes loss. It's a good time for your veterinarian to just put eyes on your horse and see how they're doing. Are they of proper weight? Are they everything else going all right with the horse? And it makes it nice for us, because we get to interact with our patients and with our clients, and under a situation that's not so stressful as an emergency event or something that's bad. So it always makes it nice for us, and it's something we look forward to, and it's great for your horse. So you need to be on top of it and make sure that gets done.
And why not do rabies as well? Because obviously we do have concerns about rabies. Recently in the Citra area, 6 months ago, maybe there was a rabid animal that attacked a dog. So we would really like it if it's the safest and best thing to do to have the rabies, because it's a horrible, definite death for a horse, and it's a terrible way to go, right?
Yeah, no, rabies is bad. We generally do rabies once a year, so that makes it. And rabies is, it's one of the cheaper vaccines. Honestly, it's very, very inexpensive, and yeah, rabies is really bad, because number one, the horse is you never want to see a rabid horse. I've seen a video of a rabid horse. You never want to see that. That's number one. Secondly, rabies can be passed from a horse to a human, and it doesn't have to be bitten. It comes from saliva. It comes from tears. Any bodily secretion can carry the rabies virus and can transmit it to a human. So your kids are out there, you're out there, dealing with a rabid horse is very dangerous, and you don't want to do that. And certainly in Marion County, we generally have a case or two that's reported in wild animals around Marion County at least once a year. So it's out there, it's real, and it's just super easy to have your horse vaccinated for it. Generally, they don't have too many reactions. Most horses don't have reactions to rabies. Obviously, there's the handful that do, but for the most part, horses tolerate the vaccine very well. It's very safe, and is a great line of protection.
Absolutely recommend it for sure. And we recommend, of course, that you do your vaccines with your veterinarian. You have a record. You also have much more likelihood that they're going to be as effective as possible. And you're going to have that wonderful record of that. So you know when they were done, because I'm going to have to ask Peterson and Smith when they did my donkeys, because I can't remember. And Dr. Cayot did them. So it's great that it is on record. Thank you, Dr. Cayot. Make sure you get your horses vaccinated if you're from up north or out of the country and you're here in Florida. You know, I have met so many people from other places that have no idea how many mosquitoes that we have and that we do often have them year round. So if you're new to this area, get your vaccines done as soon as possible. Last question, about how many weeks before the vaccine's effective after you give it, approximately?
Approximately 2 weeks is generally a good rule of thumb, so make sure.
So get them done at least 2 weeks before the big bunch of mosquitoes return, which is soon. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show here with Dr. Adam Cayot at Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital in Complete Care. Now,
Dr. Cayot, he's a wonderful chap. Always fills us in on the most important stuff. And my chiropractor was actually at the Ocala Downtown Diner. If you haven't eaten there before, the food is absolutely scrumptious.
Yum.
And he sent me a photo. He was sitting with his son, and he sent me a photo and said, I'm in the Ocala Downtown Diner with my son, and I know that lady. So thank you, Ocala Downtown Diner.
Will they have you on TV?
Yes, for airing us. So then I sent the picture of myself and Dr. Cayot to Dr. Cayot, and Dr. Cayot said, I love the Ocala Downtown Diner.
Because they play my picture and my video.
No, he just loves it. He goes there anyway because I didn't have to tell him where it was. He knew exactly where it was. Mm. So he can go watch himself on the television, learn a lot, and have a good meal. But they are great. Ocala Downtown Diner is wonderful. The food is absolutely delicious. And so thank you for airing our show for everybody to learn about the horse world. So vaccine season is more... Well, I guess it isn't really necessary that you do it exactly at springtime, but we would hope that you do it in time before the mosquitoes return. And, they're coming back. They're making a comeback as we move forward into...
Well, we're having February summer.
Yeah, we are. Having
It'll be
February.
84 degrees for the next 3 days.
We are having February summer. This is true. So make sure you're up to date on your vaccines. And... if you want to make it easy on yourself,
your horse vaccines.
yes, your horse vaccines. But if you want to make it easy on yourself, check out lipchipllc.com, because if you have the LipChip app, you'll know exactly
when you're due for your vaccine.
Exactly, because it'll be right there
on your phone.
Yes, and it'll be so easy to keep up to date. So those are some good tips. Coming back. After this break, we're going to be talking about horse parts.
Horse parts.
With Dancin Pete Rodda from Complementary Horsemanship. So stay with us.
This portion of the show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. And our TV broadcast sponsor is Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Supporting sponsors are DAC Vitamins and Minerals, Seminole Feed Stores, LipChip LLC, Piranha, Florida HVAC Services, Crystal Cryo, Ocala Dog Ranch, and The Drinking Post. Crystal Cryo offers cryo skin facials, cryo slimming, and cryo toning, all non-invasive with no skin damage, no discomfort, no recovery time, and cryo offers a healthier alternative for anti-aging, boost collagen, and freeze fat cells. Check them out now at crystalcryo.net. Crystal Cryo, a beauty spa specializing in body contouring to enhance confidence with self-care, one body at a time.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the third segment this week of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
And Complete Care.
Thank you to Larson Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Louisa Barton here in the studio with a particularly husky voice this week.
Ooh, husky.
Gotta stop yelling at Dancing Pete Rodda.
Oh, that's what it is.
From Complementary Horsemanship, who dances, by the way.
Thanks.
Imagine that.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, there you go. So we're going to talk about some horse parts.
So we were talking today, and what a lot of people don't realize, so this might be review for a lot of you, but for some of you first-time horse owners or people that are wanting to get into the horse, we wanted to put up some parts of the horse, and then this is kind of an overview, and then what we want to do later on is get deep into stuff, because a lot of times people don't know what we're talking about when we say their pole or their stifle or their hock, and they don't know what part is. Like, a lot of people don't realize that the hock is equivalent to a human heel, not your knee. So a lot of people think the hock, which if you see on the picture, is in the back over there, in the back leg.
If you're listening, not watching,
yes,
on the radio, you can Google parts of a horse.
I forgot the radio. Sorry, you're not seeing this.
Or you can go to our Facebook or YouTube page that we are broadcasting now on live, and you can actually see this photo of all the different parts of the horse, and it's all labeled for you. But like I said, if not, you can just pop onto the internet and pull up a this one's very good actually, because it's got a lot of the parts labeled. So try to find one with, as many as you can on it, so you can kind of see. And actually the chestnut is an interesting one, because I've had a lot of newbies in the horse world say, something's on the horse, what do we do?
Yep. So the chestnut is the little piece in the front leg that's on the inside, and they say that it's like a little, like your fingernail growth kind of thing. It doesn't hurt if you peel it off and all that kind of stuff. So that's a chestnut.
Chestnut's on the back leg too.
And the back leg too, right below
it's right on the inside. So if you see what looks like a funny kind of a hard growth, if you're a new horse owner, you're not thinking, oh my goodness, something's wrong. That's called a chestnut.
Yep. And then front legs. Okay, so let's start with the front legs. We'll go forearm. Then you go down to your knee, and that's everybody goes, oh, okay, that makes sense, because that's where our knees would be if we had the front legs. And then the cannon bone, or the cannon, is between the knee and the pastern, which is, the pastern is the little joint below between the hoof and the fetlock, which is on the back foot where they've labeled it on this if you're watching. And then the heel of the hoof, which they didn't even label the hoof.
Well, they did in the back.
Okay, gotcha.
They got it in the back.
They got it in the back. So this is just a little easier way to break down everything. And like I said, this is just a lot of information at one time, but a lot of people don't understand the different things. When I went to college, I never was around horses, so I had to learn this and memorize all this. So
yeah, and actually when you go to pick up a front hoof and you begin to pick it, your hand is going to go obviously down the leg. We go down the leg before we pick up. We don't just grab the hoof. We run our hand down the leg, and when you do, you're going to get down kind of just above the pastern area, and you're going to feel this funny, like, knobbly little thing, and you're going to think, what's that? Well, that's an ergot.
An ergot.
They've got some very interesting names for these parts. So you're going to feel that kind of it's in the hair. You know, if the hair is cut very short there, you're going to feel it more. But if you tend to have a horse with feathers, you're not going to feel, and I don't mean bird feathers, by the way. Let me just elaborate. I do actually mean feathers like horses like Gypsy Vannas that have a lot of hair, right? You're not necessarily going to feel it, but there is a kind of a knobbly little feeling there in the hair, and then we're working our way sort of up.
So we go to the shoulder, so that's above the forearm, and the elbow, which is right above that. So that's a little bit of piece that's right by where it starts becoming the barrel. So then we go up to the crest, which is between the ears and the withers.
So when you hear people say, oh, that horse had a very cresty neck, it doesn't mean cresty crusty. It means cresty. It's got a over-exaggerated arch to the neck.
Right. And then you go up to the poll, which is right behind the ears, top of the head.
The poll is a very kind of a prominent part of a horse in usage for a number of reasons. It's a very much more sensitive area that you don't want them, if they bang their head, to actually bang themselves on the pole. It is actually quite a sensitive area, but is also a very important area in training and riding. So when you hear things about the pole, it's a very central high point on the horse.
Yep.
that is used in a variety of different ways in training.
And then if you go from the pole down behind the jaw, that's called the throat latch. So you'll hear a lot of people say something about the throat latch, cleaning it up, that kind of stuff. So that would be under your chin if it was a human.
Yes, and the part of the bridle that goes there is also called the throat latch.
There you go. And then you have the chin groove, which is right below the chin. Imagine that. And then you have the muzzle,
which is the soft part you kiss and cuddle.
Yeah. If you're Louisa, that's the first place you go.
It's all velvety and kissable.
And then, of course, the forehead, which that's self-explanatory, between the eyes. And then we start making our way back. The withers, that would be considered your shoulders, or where your shoulder blades were.
And the point of the withers is the point you measure a horse standing on a good flat, preferably concrete, probably surface, where you actually would measure a horse from the ground to the withers, so you know how many hands it is, 4 inches being one hand. No, so that's actually the point of measuring.
We're giving a lot of information out here today.
Yeah, so the withers is the how you know how tall a horse is.
Yep. So then you go to the back, and then the loin. So the loin is about mid-back to almost the croup, which is the tall part of the hip. And then you have the flanks on both sides, which is like the side of your chest. So if you itched yourself right below your armpit, that would be considered your flank. And then, let's see, point of hip, that's right where the side back towards the hip, but not close to the flank, so it's just off the flank. And then the dock is the top of the tail. The croup is between the tail and the loin. And then the tail, of course, is the hairy part that hangs out behind their back end.
And the dock is within the hair of the tail.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you feel the top of a horse's tail, it's going to feel a lot firmer than further down in the hair, because the dock is actually inside the upper part of the tail. Ends about, my goodness, probably a quarter of the way down most tails, I would say, on average.
And there'll be a test on this later. So
yes,
just be
test
ready.
later.
No, we're just going over it as an overview. I'd like to do this where we do it again and we really concentrate on one part. And
yes.
So we get all those parts.
So good overview. And that was the sound. So we have to take a break, and we will come back on the second half of the Horse Talk show, and we will have Fabian Hronec from Reboot, because we would like to reboot our equestrians. So stay with us.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that could talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
Reboot Self-Care Center in Ocala is the future of integrative healthcare, utilizing natural self-care protocols and the finest in modern technology. Instead of treating you, we are teaching you. Learn how to combat threats to your own health and protect your family. For weight control, performance enhancement, anti-aging, self-detoxing, or preparing for pregnancy, Reboot Self-Care will teach you how to improve your own health. Like us on Facebook now and find us on the web at rebootselfcare.com.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
With over 70 years of collective experience in the horse industry, Lip Chip was built with integrity by horsemen for horsemen. Introducing the Chip Link system. Powered by Lip Chip, where a 15-digit unique ID becomes a key to unlock not only identity, but also health paperwork, owner information, and even photos of each horse. So simple, even a child can do it. The future is here. The future is Lip Chip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. EPIC, equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet.
Your hometown Chevy experience.
Well done. Thank you to Larson Farms, our TV broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Very quickly, I said it was Fabian Hronec, but he's next. It's actually Dr. Alberto Rullan from the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. So enjoy.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. I'm Louisa Barton, your host and executive producer, and have the honor and pleasure of having Dr. Alberto Rullan here from the Equine Performance and Innovative Center in the horse capital of the world. Dr. Rullan, it's lovely to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start off with where your interest in rehabbing horses really began, because we've had quite a lot of testimonials about how impressive this process is with you. So kind of share how that began.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to. I was born on the middle of in the middle of the mountain, almost at the top, on a Caribbean island. Beautiful.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah, it was great. We would ride horses pretty much every day. My dad would even ride the horses to the bar. I remember it was amazing. Then one day, one of my main horses was training for a horse show and got injured. Both hind legs, a traumatic injury on both hind legs. And that was quite a moment for me because the horse was suffering for a very long time and there was no veterinarian in town. So I was 8 years old at the time, and I was so impressed, negatively impressed, that there were so many doctors for people in the town, but there was not one single veterinarian in town, not for horses, not for anybody. So I saw my stallion suffer for hours before he actually got any help. And at that moment, I made the decision that I was going to spend the rest of my days getting a veterinary career, learning how to be a vet, and getting prepared to treat horses that have leg injuries. So I wanted to be, I didn't know how it was called, but I wanted to be a lameness veterinarian. And I believe that any horse should get the proper veterinary attention, because no horse owner should have to go through what I felt when I was 8 years old. So
it must have been devastating.
Yes, desperate and helpless, right? And I know that this is not unique. I know that this story is not unique. Many horse owners and trainers have a similar moment or episode where their horses or a horse has been injured, has been in pain, and it's just you feel helpless, not being able to help. So I promised to myself at that moment when I was 8 that was not going to happen again. And that's how I got into this into this industry.
Yeah. So really from a very young child seeing a need. So when you first see a horse, and we're going to use competitive show horses as kind of the example, show horses, race horses, because obviously they are working at quite a level. They're obviously pushing, being pushed to compete and win, and obviously that's what we do in horse sports. So when a horse gets hurt, it can be a significant, obviously significantly upsetting to the owner who loves the horse, and then also affects its longevity and its future show career. So we've had a couple of guests on the show who have shared with us that just how incredible it is to not just see the horse recover, but also to see the way that it recovers and the length of time when it comes back into work again, that they don't have to spend getting that horse back to really square one so it can even train. So kind of start with the examination process and how you, when you first see a horse, how you evaluate the injury and find out what it really needs.
Perfect. So let's spend some time on that. Sure. There are 3 basic things that any horse needs to recover. One of them is anatomy, and I will get to that. The other one is the mode of treatment. In our case, we are very big on biologic treatments, what used to be called regenerative treatment, PRP, stem cells, etc. And third would be the rehabilitation. These 3 things need to go one after the other, after the other. Let's start with anatomy, for example. We have the musculoskeletal system, the body, that is composed of bones, cartilage, ligaments, joints, tendons, muscles, etc. It's extremely important to know what is injured.
Right.
A bone, for example, the bone is the main structure, is what keeps the skeleton walking. The bone well, let me give you another quick story. Everybody has heard the racehorse that has broken a leg in a race and cannot run anymore or has to be put to sleep. We used to think that those bones was a bad incident, a bad luck type of incident, but in reality, it's a repetitive event. So understanding the anatomy, understanding the bone, knowing that bone most of the time has to go through a fatigue and has to have a previous trauma, some previous sort of injury in order to break is very important.
Right. You're right. Not just a bad step, but something that was going on.
Exactly. That's what's so important to know what structure is damaged. That's why anatomy is so important. Let me give you another example. The ligament. What is a ligament? A ligament is a structure that puts two bones together, sometimes three bones. It's very important to know if the ligament is damaged because you need to know the blood supply of the ligament. How are you going to rehab that ligament? What function does it do? A tendon. I like to compare tendons, for example, to rubber bands. A rubber band, it connects a muscle to the bone. That's pretty much the definition of a tendon. It's a connection between a muscle and the bone. The tendon could get damaged as well. And we're going to use that knowledge later on the treatment and rehabilitation of the problem. Same thing with the joint. It could be in a joint. That's when they develop arthritis, when they develop trauma to the joint itself. The joint has fluid inside. That fluid might get inflammation, etc. Then once we have identified the proper anatomical area, then we choose the treatment. One of our favorite treatments is PRP or stem cells or other biologics, or back in the days they used to call them regenerative medicine. We're kind of moving away from regenerative, and I will tell you a little bit later why. But let's put it biologics. They come from the same horse. There's usually a misconception or some confusion of PRP and stem cells. A lot of people call PRP stem cells, or they think it's the same thing.
They think it's the same.
But it's actually it's actually not slightly, it's quite different. When you do PRP, everybody, let me give you an example. How you get PRP. You draw blood. Everybody has seen blood. It's red. You spin the blood in a centrifuge inside a tube, and it separates in 3 layers. The top layer is called plasma. The middle layer is called the buffy coat. The bottom layer is red. Those are the red blood cells. What PRP is nothing more than getting a little bit of that middle buffy coat, mixing it with a little bit of plasma, and go back in that tendon, ligament, that injury or the joint, and injecting it in. That's what PRP is.
Pretty simple.
Very simple. Stem cells is slightly different. What stem cells do, imagine a tree. And a tree has a seed, right? So a stem cell is like the seed of a cell. Let me make it even simpler. You have the skin cell. And that skin cell, long time ago, was not a skin cell. It was a seed.
Hold that thought. The noise of the whinnying horse is a sign that we have to just close out this segment. But if you're waiting for the rest, it's okay, it's coming. Dr. Rullan will be right back with us on the Horse Talk Show. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. Having an air conditioner that works well in Florida is a must. Experience peace of mind by working with Florida HVAC Services, a family-owned and operated company taking pride in always putting their customers first, providing air conditioner repair, installation, and maintenance services on all makes and models. For those suffering from allergies or asthma, air quality testing is recommended and hospital-grade air filters are available. Ask about a pure air filtration system today. Check them out at flhvacservices.com or like them on Facebook. Florida HVAC Services, serving all of North Central Florida with honesty, integrity, and the highest value of workmanship. And that's 100% guaranteed.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equine with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equine came to life. Equine, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and Equus Television, and I have the pleasure of starting a new segment for equestrian health. And I'm thrilled to be here with a friend of mine, Fabian Hronec, and we are at the Reboot Self-Care Center. Going to get a little rundown from Fabian on what this is all about and how we can help equestrians be much healthier. We all think about our horses first, and we need to focus a little bit more on the two-legged. So we're going to start with that. Fabian, tell us a little bit about how Reboot got started and kind of what it's all about and your mission here.
So the mission was, as I started as a personal trainer years ago, was to be able to answer the questions that you generally don't learn as a personal trainer, which is, you know, I take thyroid medication or cholesterol medication, I feel tired, I wake up groggy. And so from there, the way it developed was I have a mentor who I started reaching out to, Dr. Thomas Bijay, and he started to teach me why those underlying issues were. And so I realized there was a lot more to it than just physically training the body. And that's when I got more into the nutrition side, and I got my certifications to be able to talk and go through as a nutritionist. And then created dynamic health coaching, which then rebranded to Reboot Self-Care now. And so Reboot Self-Care Center, the idea is you come in, you get a full assessment from, on a cellular level, nutritionally what's going on in your body, what are you missing, what do you have too much of, but also how everything's physically functioning, like the liver, the kidney, the gallbladder, emotions, and your nervous system. Because when we get a good picture of your body physically, emotionally, and energetically, what's going on, then we have all these tools now at Reboot that allow us to boost your body's natural functions and balance your system. And that's the goal. The overall goal of self-care is to teach people how they can take care of themselves. And once we do that, your job is to continue it, right? It's kind of like our grandparents used to give us these things to drink that are nasty, you know, and you'd be like, what the hell am I? But it would work, right? Right. So we want to be able to bring that back, because I feel like we're losing that, where it's handed down, this information, right? Because everything's accessible everywhere, like a pill, just to help get rid of a headache. So once you learn how to deal with the headache, and you can do that yourself, then our goal is to have clients come back, rescan, and then we know that everything's still going in the right direction. If not, here's what you can do, and ultimately prevent things from happening.
Wonderful. So as opposed to sort of masking the symptoms, which is what we tend to do, let's quickly take something to make this go away, it's actually to get to the root of the problem, find out why it's happening, try to correct it, and then continue that in your real life choices.
Yes, exactly. And this system that we have is not something that it was just created. So Dr. Thomas Bijay in Australia has been doing this 25 years, the same system, just we've been upgrading it with new technology. So 5 years ago when I asked if I could create a small version of what he has here, because he's from Australia, he came out, helped me set up, and then started giving me the protocols. And then over the years it's been learning how to do it and building it up to where now he's joint ventured with me on Reboot, and together we're starting to create a model that hopefully catches on so we can provide it in different areas. And it's all about balancing the body out, taking the garbage out of the body, and then boosting the system so the brain and the body start figuring out that this is actually the good stuff, and we want to continue this.
It's wonderful. So starting kind of over here behind us and going through the building, tell us what services you offer to people after they've had their scan and kind of found out what's going on, what some of the options are.
Okay, so after the assessment's done and we actually know what you need, right behind us we have the IV room. So that's where we do IV infusions to get the nutrients straight to the blood. For people that maybe don't digest as well, if we did supplementation, for example, or even food, they might not break it down, absorb it well. So the IV is nice because we can do kind of a punch to the system to give them the nutrients they need fast while we're working on building it up every day to the point where you are digesting your food better and absorbing it. After that, the red light and near infrared is designed for helping collagen production, but also rejuvenate your cells and give the mitochondria in your cell energy. And that's how your cells move, is through the mitochondria, and they're having energy. So we're actually boosting your system with that. And then the far infrared dome, the detox dome, is a different type of infrared that's designed to heat your body up from the inside to sweat out. So we use that for circulation, for sweating, to burn. You burn like 600 calories in 35 minutes of being in there. So there's a lot going on while you're in there. But the idea is to help the body do its job of detoxing and eliminating. And then next, more of the boosters, is the mild hyperbaric chamber. So that's for saturating your body with concentrated oxygen to help the cells do their job, to have more oxygen so you have more in the system to help it do its own job, which is healing and improving functions. So essentially it gives your body a chance to move forward, where it's always in survival mode. When you're in the hyperbaric chamber, is your body has time to actually focus on what it needs to because of the excess oxygen you're getting. As you move your way down, we have the exercise with oxygen therapy. So that's getting your heart rate up while you're breathing 95% oxygen, and that saturates your body through your lung with concentrated oxygen. So that's great for combining it with the detox dome to improve your body's elimination, right? And then there's always the fun one to talk about, which is colon hydrotherapy. So that's really our very unique program we have, is our 3-week detox program. So it includes colon hydrotherapy, which, like in a quick snippet, is designed to eliminate the waste in your trash can, which is your large intestine. Anything that's built up, stuck to the walls of your trash bag, we're just cleaning it right out. As you get the waste out, your body then has more ability to eliminate on its own like it's supposed to, but then also you're helping to retrain the muscles in there to do their job, which is help eliminate and push out the waste. And then we have supplementation that you take during, which helps each organ detox.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, because I don't recommend anything that I won't do myself, so I can endorse it, I will be going through the program here so I can share some details with you and the outcome and improvement in my overall health, wellness, and energy levels. So I'll be sharing that with you. Also, Fabian and his team here can also help four-leggeds. So we're going to also be sharing some of that with you in the future. So make sure you check in every week. We'll be sharing a tip of the week from Fabian, and we'll also be having him on the show live with us as well to actually address each one of these items that we've discussed in more detail. So we're looking forward to making you healthier and me healthier and spreading the word about Reboot Self-Care Center. So thank you, Fabian. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the Horse Talk Show, Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Also, thank you to supporting sponsors, Nirvana Medical Spa, TT Distributors, Summit Joint Performance, Equine, Midnight Rose Equestrian, the Florida Horse Park, Horse Farms Forever, and the Equine Performance and Innovative Center.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. EPIC, equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com. Or find them on social media.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show for this week, presented by Palm Chevrolet.
Your hometown Chevy experience.
Thank you to Larson Farms, our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
Sorry about my voice this week. I've been talking too much. It's a bit of a problem I have. No, really.
Never.
I've been talking too much. So we're going to touch on...
Sorry. I'm not going to be able to hold it together on this topic.
Yeah. So... So Fabian...
We're going to let it go forward right here, guys.
So Fabian,
Hold on.
Fabian from Reboot Self-Care here in Ocala was just on sharing with us kind of the first segment on equestrian health. And, you know, we often talk about our horses and we get up and we feed them first and we look after them first. And we're so worried about everything, particularly concerned if our horses are not having regular bowel movements, for example.
Colic.
Yes, because that can be an impaction. And so we don't often focus on our equestrian health and well-being nearly enough. So
have you been colicking?
I've been colicking for years. So in reaching out and Fabian and I connecting, we got to talking about the fact that I should probably have a scan and assessment. So I did. It was absolutely phenomenal procedure. It gave me a lot of answers about things that I've struggled with for a really long time. We won't talk about how many years, except I think I was in a diaper last time everything was okay. So actually my father used to joke and say that if somebody was grumpy, it meant they were just constipated. So yes, it's a thing. So yes, in my assessment, you know, we found a lot of issues that needed to be addressed in detoxing, and in meeting with the doctor at Reboot for, gosh, I think 3 hours. He's probably the most educated man I've ever met in my life. Had a lot of very, very interesting things to share. And the detox program, which I began almost 3 weeks ago, was to detox.
Tell us about it, but don't go too detailed, please.
So detoxing the bladder, the kidney, the liver, really detoxing the gut, all the parts of you that really badly, and
large intestines.
Large intestines, yes. So we don't really think about how toxic we are. We're around a lot of toxic things. We eat a lot of things with preservatives in them. We don't eat right. We don't go to the bathroom as often as we should. If you're very busy and you have a lot going on and you're juggling a lot of different things, maybe you don't even think about relaxing. When did I last go to the bathroom? Perhaps it's been a week.
A week? Do you not have a schedule? A week?
If I travel, maybe 10 days.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
you're packing more than luggage.
That was terrible.
Yeah, but it's going to get better right now.
Right, but I'm going to tell you very interesting things that are happening. So I try and stay up really late because I have a lot to do. My body will not let me stay up late anymore. I literally will fall asleep standing up when I get past a normal person's bedtime, which is a very new development for me.
Wow.
No offense to the drink Bang, but if you are a Bang drinker...
And we're talking about the power...
The power drink, yes, okay. Energy drink. I have been addicted to Bang energy drink for probably a year and a half. Had to have one every single day, no matter what. I have not had a Bang, and I don't need one, which is really impressive. I'm not finding that I feel lethargic mid-morning or mid-afternoon. Can't believe that one. That's a real game changer for me. And feeling a feeling of lightness and not lightness. Yes.
Sorry.
Feeling normal. So that has been a really huge change for me. So I feel like, the process that you go through from assessment to being reassessed is kind of ideal. It's not putting the Band-Aid on, trying to take a pill to fix something. It's cleansing, it's detoxing, it's lightening. Yes, it's enlightening. And the support system is fantastic. The detox program, first time I think my right kidney hasn't hurt in probably 10 years. The first time that I've had a regular normal visits to the bathroom in many. And my stomach is flatter, of course. Crystal Cryo, I have to give them some credit there as well, to Olivia and her team. But really a game changer in equestrian health. And
working from the inside out.
Yes, inside out. And, the thing is, when Pete and I were talking about doing this segment, he was howling in the studio. So he's actually doing very well.
Well, she was a little more graphic off camera.
Yeah, I was a little more. Yeah, the breaks are always graphic. Before the show is graphic. Yeah. But I just think that for the level of energy that we need to have in order to own a farm, take care of our horses, compete maybe at high levels, we need to be at our absolute best. I mean, we need to be we need to be on the top of our game.
Well, if you think about it, any one of us that owns horses would be having a horse checked if they weren't being regular or it didn't look right.
Right. If you have a horse in a stall for 24 hours and you don't see several piles of bowel movement.
But we don't think twice about it. We're like, oh, well, we'll get that taken care of. Yeah. It'll come back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, or we tend to rush to take some kind of laxative that's not necessarily good for us, make everything come out, and then go back to the 7 days of not doing it again. And that's not healthy either. Obviously, we hope that diet... We hope that if we were eating... I
never thought I'd be on the Horse Talk show talking about us.
If we were eating really quality hay from Larson Hay or some nice feed from Seminole feed stores, we feel like we might not have a problem either. But we're not, we're eating a lot of packets, we're eating a lot of fast food, we're eating things that are more convenient and quick. Maybe they're not whole foods. If we actually could eat everything we're supposed to eat.
Equestrian takeout, where you have healthy food that go to the farm and deliver.
Yeah, there you go. It's a good idea. So I feel like we need to be on top form, and we are not, because we don't take the time to look after ourselves. And getting yourself healthy, getting yourself regular, getting yourself having a normal lifestyle is so important. So this is something where we're going to focus on 2 weeks tonight. We are going to have Fabian here in the studio.
Oh, I'm going to be dying.
I know you are. But we're going to start this segment, and it's going to be the Equestrian Reset, is what we're going to call this.
We'll call it a challenge.
Yes. The Equestrian Reset, brought to you by Reboot, and we're going to talk about how we can reset you so you can be the best you can be for your horse.
And that's important.
It really is. So do you have a horsemanship tip of the week?
Horsemanship tip? No, we're not doing that. We got
to go time. So you can find out more about Reboot Self-Care at rebootselfcare.com. You can go online and find out all their services. Hyperbaric chamber, we know that works for horses, works for people too. The dome, the IV infusions, the diet recommendations that come with the detox packet. And you're going to be able to get
the cleanse.
The cleanse, yes. And the colonics, by the way, doesn't get much better. We got to wrap up. We'll be back at the same time next week, whether you're in Ocala, Marion County or not, the horse capital of the world.
We'll see you next week.
Happy horsing around till next time.